In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the concept of agentic AI, and I'm going to give you an example that's very beginner friendly, that's very easy to use, but at the same time, very powerful. Now, if you don't know what agentic AI is, there's essentially two classes of AI. There's the AI that pretty much everyone's already familiar with, which is the chatbots, the ChatGPT, the Gemini, the Claude, where you just ask it a question and it gives you an answer. Now, agentic AI uses the same intelligence, but rather than just answering a question, what it does is actually does something on your computer as if it was a human, as if you had somebody working for you that was like a 24/7 computer assistant. So agentic AI can send an email for you. It can read your email. It can do research on the web. It can create a spreadsheet. It can modify a spreadsheet. It can read through your LinkedIn messages. It can post something on Instagram for you. Like anything that you can do on a computer, essentially, an agentic AI can also do. And that even goes further, right? Like it can build programs for you. Like it can build apps for you. It can build websites for you. And so I'm going to show you a really easy use case, but an extremely valuable use case. Now, the most beginner-friendly platform for agentic AI is called Manus. It's manus.im, and I'm going to put a link down in the description where if you use my link specifically, then you get 500 free credits and I get 500 free credits, which is the way that AI charges. So essentially, it's a bunch of free usage for you and for me. So use that link and you'll get that. Anyway, it's manus.im, and I have the paid version of this, but you can start with just the free version. I'm going to go to New Task, and essentially it's just a prompt. It looks like a ChatGPT or a Gemini or whatever other ones, except that this can actually do things for you. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you an example of, let's say that we have a business and we want to do some research for our business to understand exactly what kind of marketing is going to be the most attractive to the type of people that we are looking to reach. Now, this will work for just about any kind of business. And by the way, I'm not just going to do the market research. I'm then going to have it turn that market research into a fully functional website. Right? So we're going to start with step one is the market research. So we know exactly what's going to resonate with the type of people that we want to sell to. So this will work for any business, but I want to use as an example. Let's say that we are creating AI analytics workflows for companies. Now, just in case you don't know what that is, that means that you have an AI that's doing data analysis, that's looking at the company's data and showing what's going on in the company to help people to make decisions. This is a very valuable task that can be entirely automated by AI. I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video because it's a little more complicated, but just pretend that that's our service that we're selling. So let's say that our target market are corporate marketing managers who are currently spending a lot of money to hire data analysts, like human data analysts, but chances are they aren't really happy about waiting a long time. First of all, like paying a lot of money for their salaries. And then when they have a request about their data, like they want to see their sales performance for last week, then the data analyst has to go and like build this thing out. They have to do this coding and stuff. And the manager now has to wait for it. They probably have to wait several days or a week. And it would be much better if they could just get the data immediately. And so that's something that we offer. But I'm gonna actually give it a prompt. And by the way, any kind of prompting, whether it's Manus or ChatGPT or whatever, the more context and the more specific you make it, the better the output that you're going to get. So I'm going to say, I'm trying to sell a product that is an AI-driven data analyst, which allows users to input a plain English prompt and it will run a query to their database and give them an answer either in terms of raw data or a chart or dashboard. Okay, so that's my context of what I'm offering. My target audience are corporate marketing managers who use data analytics and probably would prefer to have their data questions answered faster, more efficiently, and without having to pay big salaries to data analysts. Please do a thorough market research for me on this target market and how they feel about data analytics and using AI solutions. Specifically, I would like to know, 1, what are their pain points around data analytics? What do they hope to gain from their data? What would the ideal state look like for them? And by the way, I'm just going through and kind of looking at the full picture of what motivates people in this market, right? That's what I want to get. And then it's going to go and research it for me. Okay, so what do they hope to gain? What are the biggest challenges? Keeping them from their ideal state. What do they already know about AI analytics solutions? What have they already seen? What do they... Okay, and then what are their potential objections to implementing AI analytics? So in other words, why would they perhaps be afraid to do that or not want to do that? Okay, so let's see. We got pain points. We got their desires, like their goals. We got the challenges. We've got what do they already know, like what do they know about the rest of the market? And then what are potential objections? Okay, so I think this is good. I'm going to go ahead and hit send here. And then it's going to do some deep research. So it's actually going to go and surf the web, and it's going to go look at like market research, and it's going to like actual market research firms. It's going to probably look at sites like Reddit and see what people are actually saying about it on the internet. And this is probably going to take a little while. So I'm going to pause this. And in fact, it's even going to show you what the data sources are. So while it's running, actually, it's kind of thinking, but it's telling you what it's doing as it's doing it. So if you want to read that, you can, or you can just kind of wait for the answer. Just like come back later and wait for the answer. So this probably is going to take a couple of minutes because I'm asking it for quite a lot. One of the benefits to Manus over something like ChatGPT is that Manus is willing to do much deeper thinking, like much deeper research. So ChatGPT, you ask it something, it'll give you an answer within 30 seconds, but usually it's a pretty shallow answer. It hasn't really done a whole lot of digging to find that. Whereas Manus is going to do much more deep digging to make sure that it gets the right answer and that it's looking for a variety of sources. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I'm going to come back when this is done. Okay, now Manus is done. It says I completed the market research and attached as a markdown document. And so I can go through this, and I'm not going to go through in too much detail, but okay, so it gives me a nice executive summary. It's target audience definition. So it's going to like segment it into a few different types of people. Pain points. Okay, so like slow time to answer. That's kind of what I was saying. Manual data wrangling and spreadsheet work. Okay, difficulty proving ROI and attribution. Okay, so this is all good. This all makes sense. What they hope to get. So the ideal state, and they give me this nice little table, fast answers, trusted metrics, executive ready reporting, very cool, etc. And then biggest challenges. Okay, poor data foundations, marketing does not fully own its data strategy, etc., etc. Here's the challenges. Here's some potential objections. Okay, so can we trust the answers from AI? Like, that's a big one. Is the data secure? Will this integrate with our stack? Our data's messy, etc. Makes sense. And then marketing position implications. Positioning territories. Ask your marketing data anything. Get trusted answers, charts, and dashboards in minutes. Not analyst tickets, SQL queues, or spreadsheet wrangling. Cool. So that's like a really nice little like one sentence statement of benefit here. It could be a headline somewhere. And then awesome. So like really, really good stuff here. This is freaking valuable for this business that we're trying to start. So I'm going to say, watch this. Create a web page for me using this analysis. And then I could go into detail and I could say like, okay, so for the headline, I want something that's benefit-based, and then I want to see this, this, and this. Like I could give it a layout, but I'm just going to leave it open-ended. I'm going to say, actually, I'm going to give it a goal. The goal is to get as many marketing managers as possible to apply and book a call with our team. There we go. And I will hit play. And again, this is going to take a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put it, well, I'll look at like the little bit of thinking it's doing here. So it's going to say, okay, so I'll turn the market research into a conversion-focused web page aimed at getting corporate marketing managers to apply and book a call. Now notice that I said, like I gave it a goal, because like the way that AI works is that it just kind of copies, it notices what's already been done and kind of copies it. So the fact that we're using the actual market research is going to be very helpful. But on the other hand, a lot of websites are purely just informational. And a lot of companies are not very good at this. Like they're not very good at focusing on getting the conversion, which is ultimately what everybody wants, but not everybody's very good at that. So it might end up just creating like a generic website that's very good at providing information, but it's really not so good at actually convincing somebody to book a call, which is ultimately what we want. So I gave it that goal to make it optimize for that, right? Instead of just providing information. So this is going to take a little while. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video again, and I will see you back when it's done. Okay, it's all finished here. It's created the web page. It took about 6 minutes. And here's what we got. And this is the preview, which looks a little bit weird. So I'm going to see the actual, like I'm going to go to the actual site. So I already hit publish actually. You just hit publish and then you can click on this and it'll take you to the actual page. And this is what it looks like, which is pretty cool. I like it. Like I like this headline: ask your database marketing questions, get trusted answers in seconds. Stop waiting 3 days for analysts to write SQL. Query your Snowflake, BigQuery, or Redshift warehouse directly using plain English. Get executive-ready charts, dashboards, and raw data grounded in your custom semantic layer. Apply for priority access or try interactive demo. And yeah, so this is really cool. Like I would probably want to make some changes to this. For example, this like for corporate marketing managers, that sounds kind of hokey. I would say like for marketing leaders, for like innovative marketing leader, or maybe I just get rid of that completely. And then it came up with like a random title, like business name and logo. So I obviously want to change that to whatever my actual one was. I also feel like this looks a little bit like kind of old fashioned. So, which is obviously what it's trying to go for, but I would like, because it's an AI thing, I would like it to look more modern, even though it is clean. It looks like the layout is nice. It just looks like this system preview.exe. It looks like a Windows 95 thing, which is kind of the opposite. So it's not perfect, right? But pretty darn good for literally just one prompt. So I would go back here and I would say, okay, I like this, but I would like to make some modifications. First, make it look more modern. Still professional, but less Windows 95. And then please change my company name to, I don't know, Shoop AI Services. I just made that up right now. Like whatever the actual company name is, etc. And so I would just keep going like with whatever I wanted to change. Oh, and then I would say like get rid of the corporate marketing managers box. And then, okay, and then like it gave some stats here. So like 14 milliseconds average query speed. That's, it just made that up, right? So I would switch that with whatever that actually is. So I would make all those changes and then I'd go ahead and hit send, and then it's going to make the revisions. And this is going to take another few minutes. And this might go on a few times. Like it might make some revisions and then I look at the new thing and then I decide that I want some more revisions, right? So I'm not going to have you sit through the entire process. You get the idea. I just wanted to show you how agentic AI works, how incredibly powerful this is. I mean, like imagine this compared to what it was just a year ago when you had to hire a web developer to do all of this. And it would take like weeks to do what I just did in 6 minutes. Right? And it wouldn't be as good because it wouldn't be based on like actual data. So, or actual like market research. So this is just scratching the surface of what agentic AI can do. And at the moment, I'm planning a presentation where I'm going to show you how to use a more advanced agentic AI. And I'm going to show you how to specifically set up analytics workflows of the kind that I was actually describing on this website. If you would like to learn how to do that, I will put a link to the presentation in the description below as well. Again, this is going to be live, so if I don't know when you're watching this, it might have already passed, but if you make it on time, then you can join the live presentation. And of course, if you found this helpful, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.